All right. So we've got an echo.
Uh-oh. Stop it. Pause this. Talk, Dad.
1, 2. From the morning mist.
Now we're live.
All right, we are live. This is the Bick Raven podcast. And I'm Stu Schnerman.
I'm Spencer.
And we have Tay, or known as Mrs. Tay's Cookies, over there in the sound booth with camera on her this time. Last week we didn't have that because we had to do a change of setups, but she's back on camera again, so that's good. Yeah, so we did a lot of things this week, very busy week for us, and we're going to discuss some of those things.
Yeah, we're going to have a short podcast today because we had such a busy week. That's why we started later today, and we're doing all the stuff for your neck of the woods.
Hey, right. So your neck of the woods, just to remind you or tell anybody who hasn't watched our podcast yet.
Yeah.
It's a new YouTube show that we're doing. It's not just going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on, Spence?
It's going to be on YouTube, DTube, and possibly Vimeo, and also our website, of course.
And the Facebook?
It won't be published on Facebook.
It won't be published on Facebook?
No, you can just see it through.
What about Instagram?
It's only linked through Instagram, so it's all directly through YouTube. And
okay,
DTube.
and you can also pick the stuff up right off our website, which is bickraven.com. But anyway, your neck of the woods is what we do is we travel. And let's just talk Arizona, in different towns in Arizona, and we pick what we feel is unique businesses, unique areas, unique things that are in each town, and we get together with the people who, let's say it's a business and they own the business, that they're in charge of that, and we take the cameras and all of our stuff, and we go in there and we talk about their business and see what they do.
Yeah.
And it's pretty great because it gives people a deeper insight. And the whole idea of this is that we're not just going to quickly show something and get out. We're going into detail, so it's a lot more interesting, a little bit longer. And we'll have segments of each piece available besides just the full show of each one. But each town we go in and we try to do what we feel is an analysis of the town, some information of the history of the town, and then from there we go after and talk to those different folks that I just mentioned. So what we're hoping to get out of this is that somebody says, and the one we were working on today, and all week was Prescott, Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
So that they look at it and go, oh, Prescott's pretty cool to go to. Has some nice stuff. I got to learn some more information. I really want to check out these people that they talked about. And that's kind of the goal. Not just to drive people to there, but to drive people's interest to that town and say, hey, that's a pretty cool place to go. Mm-hmm. And each one of our towns and cities have a lot of things to offer. So, and sometimes it's going to be things that you didn't even realize. I don't know how many people told me when I told them we're doing a shoot at the zoo, the Heritage Park Zoo in Prescott. What did they say? I never knew they had a zoo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't know they had a zoo.
They got a zoo. They got a zoo. Tay, did you know they had a zoo before you went to the zoo?
I actually did know they had a zoo. I think I passed through it one time in Prescott, and I always wanted to go back up there. I knew that it's like a sanctuary.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, it is a sanctuary, which is half the zoos are, but
right.
That one is specifically a sanctuary, though. They don't have any other animals really besides sanctuary animals.
Right. That's what they do, and apparently, and part of that is that's their mission, or part of their mission. But another part of it is the fact that there's probably a lot of animals that need sanctuary, and so they need to be one of the arms out there that do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Each one of these locations that we do for your neck of the woods, it's also a learning experience for us because
every time
we can read as much as we can about them or talk to some people about them or just get information. But it's never like when we're going there and interviewing and walking through whatever they have, such as the zoo, and finding out about the animals. You get to find out really about the people that work there too.
Yeah.
And so once you get that kind of information, the interest for me, if I was watching the video, to go to the zoo is so much higher because it's so much more interesting because they really have some great animals there, and
and they go in pretty depth about it. They went more in depth than I ever thought they would. They specifically talked about each animal, and they brought up animals, and we even had the animals come to us, and we pet some of the animals, and got to show off some of the animals. It was really cool, and it's going to be an awesome segment to show.
Yeah,
it's probably one of my favorites, just because I love animals.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The woman who is the deputy director, I guess, second in charge, assistant director, deputy director. Her name is Raquel.
Yeah, Raquel.
And she has been in the zooing type business and been in a management type position. I think she's been there for about 10 years now.
Yeah, she said around there.
Yeah, and then before that, she was at the Phoenix Zoo, along with the person who is the director there, who was also at the Phoenix Zoo for a number of years before she came up. And then I guess she brought Raquel with her, and they're both living in Prescott now over these last 10 years or more for the director.
Yeah.
And they seem to love it. They seem to love it up there. They seem to love their
more than
their
love
zoo.
it. It's like
Obviously,
it's their life.
Yeah, it's a smaller zoo.
Yeah.
It's a smaller zoo, but it also has a lot of interesting things.
It's shocking just the amount of how many volunteers just go there just to help out because they just love animals that much, and they go in depth about that, and you'll see that in the video. But it's honestly just so mind-blowing how much they love these animals, and those animals love them too. You can tell they have a connection that's like no other. It's interesting. They have
a great website too, a lot of information. It is gate driven. The zoo is gate driven and membership driven, highly for their financial needs. They're a nonprofit, and they've got a ton of volunteers that help with the zoo.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's what helps keep the zoo together because they only have so many employees because being a nonprofit.
Oh yeah, and
so the volunteers is what helps is the glue that helps keep that together.
And these volunteers get to actually interact with the animals and stuff like that too, and they love it just because of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get to even at the bottom of the rank, they show you everything. You don't really need to have a background to even volunteer, and they described that, but they even said Dad can be a volunteer easy, and he has no animal background, but they teach
I've acted like an animal a few times. I think they picked up on that.
Oh yeah,
maybe it was when somebody scratched like my back, and then I started kicking my leg up and trying to scratch too.
Oh yeah.
You think that was it? I don't know. But they said I could be a good volunteer.
Yeah, they said you could be a good volunteer. They said I'll be a crap volunteer though. They
Yeah, really?
specifically pointed at me. You'll be crap. You suck. And yeah.
Really?
And
God.
Just by looking at you.
I know. It's
I think you just want to get out of work.
Absolutely.
It was a great experience
I don't
with the
want to
people
pick up
there.
poop all day.
At the very end, when we did our outro, we had the main director, and she was there, and she said some words and some information about the zoo too. There was other people who were zookeeper types that worked there, and they got involved with a lot of the shots. So we got a lot of close-ups with animals and what they do. Got to pet a few, and it was just it was a great experience all the way
I got to see
around.
a bear, and I love bears.
And so just to give you a little insight, when we were shooting this and what we told some of our people in Prescott as we were shooting these different businesses and things like the zoo, is that we told them we figured maybe an hour and a half or something like that we'd shoot. All of our shots the entire week as we've been shooting and going to these different places, everything's been over 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
Over 2 hours. So we have a
Comment, and I'm guessing this is in regards to you not being able to train animals, Spence. Nate Harryman says they ain't wrong, Spencer.
Well, he knows me better than some people. I guess so. What's up,
so
Nate?
maybe.
Can I pull you back here for a sec?
Yeah. Sure.
So at the zoo, besides the things that I just mentioned, we got into a lot of things about the zoo, some of the things that they have going on. They have summer camps for kids. They've got a lot of public things that they work with the local Prescott area, and that would include probably Prescott Valley, I would say, and Chino Valley and down to Dewey, that Quad City area that they call. And they invite these people in to do all these different events that they have. So they've got a lot of them, and you can see those events if you get on their website. One thing that will be really cool, once we get our editing done for all these different things and put together our show for the Prescott area for your neck of the woods, we're going to take these segments, each one of them, and these will also be put on each individual website. So in other words, the zoo will also have their slot of our videos on there. So that's going to be that's going to be nice. So you could also watch the same video on their website, and they'll be publishing that probably right after we give them that information once the editing is done. Ba-ba-ba-doo. Oh, watch this. So I have it in this hand.
Magic.
Okay. I have it in this hand. And I don't have it in this hand. And I don't have it in this hand. And now I do. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
I didn't know if I did or not.
Tay's mic wasn't on. That's
Yeah, I've been actually, my forte is magic. Really,
my
the
goodness.
first thing. That's how
There
I
we go.
made my living all my life was my magic.
Oh, really?
So everything else I do is like secondary.
No.
Yeah, but the magic pays the bills.
I don't think they taught you properly.
I don't know. I just keep the money keeps coming in.
I'm very shocked.
That's the magic.
That's
No
the real
question.
magic.
Just money.
I don't understand how it's happening, but it keeps happening.
Hey, if you're bringing money in for nonsense like that, it's got to be magical.
It's got to be magical.
So anyway, back to the zoo. So if you get a chance and get on their website, take a look. Take a look
man.
at what they got, and then you'll love our stuff that we shoot on this because we loved it, and we knew after we got done with that shoot and got it.
Oh,
how
that place
long
was
was
awesome. It was awesome.
we were there for like 3.5 hours.
Longer.
Longer?
Yeah.
Really?
So
It was long.
my shoulders felt it. That's all I can say. I have a gimbal jacket now, and
It was one of those shoots where we had an early morning shoot, and then we had an extremely short period of time to pack up and get to this shoot. And then we had a bunch of time to do it because we had a late shoot after that.
Yeah.
And we had to wait on that. So we actually didn't purposely fill the gap in time. It just happened to just keep going on and on and on with the different areas. And the person that I mentioned, Raquel, she had the energy and the interest to
she was great.
want to just walk the whole zoo.
She's
with
great.
us.
She can just keep talking. Actually, the other
Su-
girl that
tons of information.
I'm blanking on her name for some reason. But it stinks. I am blanking on her name. But she seemed like she was almost a shy type at first, and then when she got on camera and started talking about the animals, bam, she was in action mode. She knew exactly what she was talking about,
Right.
and she was just so interactive. I loved it. Everything was just so great about it.
It really appeared for us, though, that the zookeepers that work with certain animals on a constant basis, they had such a strong relationship with those animals. I mean, we would be standing outside of their living area and looking in the gate, and of course we have this camera equipment, sound equipment, all this technical stuff that we're dragging around from area to area. And it looked apparently maybe intimidating the animals or just different, and they didn't seem to like it quite as much.
Especially the one cat.
Right. But the person like the zookeeper who would come there, who works with the animal every day, like this one mountain lion, that mountain lion knew her.
Oh,
And knew her
like a dog.
and loved her. And as soon as she came, the mountain lion got on its back like a kitty and rolled around and rubbed against the fence and wanted to play and just like a big
it was
kitty.
purring and everything. Yeah.
It's not a kitty. All right.
It's a big kitty.
It's a big kitty.
It's
You
a
don't
but it's
mess
a
by-
declawed kitty.
But has all the kitty type of things.
yeah,
So that was just fun to see.
yeah.
Spencer, I'm
Because
having
it tells
some
you a lot.
technical Issues.
What's that?
I need Spencer.
What?
It's delaying, like it's not matching. Here, Stu, talk for a little bit.
Oh, you want me to talk for a little bit? So that was the things that happened at the zoological sanctuary. So again, get on their website, and it's the Heritage Zoo. All you have to do is look up Heritage Zoo and Prescott, and you'll see a website for them. And they're, they've got things going. Another thing about that area is that when you make that, let's say you're coming from town in Prescott, if you know the area at all, and you're driving up from where the hospital is or whatever, and you're going out what's called Willow Lake Park Drive or Road, where you're going out that road, and you eventually get to where the Heritage Park Zoo is. That's also where Willow Lake Park is. That's one of the big Granite Dell parks, and they have at Willow Lake Park, and that's going to be another that we'll have a separate segment for is their parks. Really a beautiful park. It's a reservoir lake. You can go fishing there and boating there and everything. So they're right there, and they're right next to them. So after you get done at the zoo, you can go down to the lake. And if you want to go boating, or you can just walk around and hike, they got hiking trails there. It's kind of a nice afternoon. Also, the zoo has picnic tables and things like that. You can bring a lunch and just sit there and eat. The weather, we got lucky. The weather was just nice. Now, we're in Flagstaff, and as you can see behind me, the Flagstaff weather here, even at night, at where we are. Now, this is only where we are, but where we are, it is sunny all the time, 24 hours a day. And it is beautiful, and the weather, it's about to be in such a fantastic environment. But most of the time when you're in Flagstaff, you're not getting that kind of weather, especially in February. But Prescott had some pretty nice weather all week this weekend, and when we were at the zoo, we caught some great weather there.
Sorry for the technical error, guys. We literally just got home and I had to reset up everything. So
Yeah, we had the studio ripped apart for your own knowledge, so you have an idea.
I literally had to build up this whole studio in like 30 minutes.
So,
Right,
another
right, and put all
comment.
our lights back together and put all our cameras back in place and all the lenses and all the wiring hookup.
We just got back from Prescott.
Spencer,
then-
this one's directed to you
Yeah.
from Nate Harriman.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is talking about like the big kitty cat.
Yeah, yeah.
Misbehaving.
Yeah.
Spencer does the same thing when I see him. He acts just like a big kitty.
Oh, yeah.
I keep yarn in my back pocket, so he always has a toy.
Absolutely. Anytime you have yarn, you throw it at me, I'm just going to go and chase it. He also keeps a laser. I will catch that laser one day.
It won't be today. It won't be tomorrow.
All right. So that's enough about the zoo. We can talk about vibes.
Oh, you want to bring up? It's called Vibes. Oh, wow, that was quick.
Yeah, she already had it up.
Tay, you're a genius. No, just let her take let her take it in, her geniusness of being able to just flash that thing.
Yeah, we
up.
can tell her, you suck later.
No.
I'm kidding. I have to
That's
tease
not
my
a
gr-
nice
I have
thing to
ta-
say to Mrs. Taste cookies.
No, I have to
You
tease
may
my
never,
girlfriend.
That would Mrs.
you
Taste
never,
cookies.
you never get any chocolate chips with that.
But Vibes Juice
Never
Bar.
again.
Okay, Vibes Juice Bar. So
First place we shot.
yeah, that was the first place we shot on Wednesday this week, and it was in the morning, which is good for a lot of places like restaurants and things because they're not going to be quite as busy. So we had to do an early morning shoot with them, and they were wonderful people.
Oh yeah, they were great. Honestly, it was a really great time, man.
Right. So that's their names are Amy and Jason,
Yeah.
and
you guys
Amy.
get
They're
to try any of
characters,
these?
honestly. Jason is really really into it. Honestly, he really loves it.
Yeah.
Seems like.
Yeah.
And Amy just loves to just be a part of it and like making different types of stuff, making different types of food for people. And I think she just loves the idea of just having healthy food. And it's a vegan-based place, but we tried some of the stuff,
That
and
was my
it's
question. Did you
yeah,
guys
it's
try
good.
stuff?
It's super good.
Yeah, they made
try?
they made a drink for me that was beet from the front end, so it's red, but it has all this other stuff in like ginger. It had cinnamon.
How was yours? I didn't get to try
cinnamon
yours.
for the back end of the flavor. Really good, smooth. It was just good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I'm not a real big beet person.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, my joke always is every year somebody will ask me if they do ask me, what did you give up for Lent? And of course, I always tell them beets every year. It's
Yeah.
a tough one for me.
Oh yeah.
Just give up those beets. But this has beets in, but you really don't even notice because it's such a blend of things, and they don't use any sugars in it. It's it can't use all organic. I
Right.
caught that from all of our
They're
conversations.
still sweet though because
the
they use natural sugar.
availability of
That's in some
certain
stuff.
consistent organic. It's not always available.
Yeah.
So you can't just
True.
you can't automatically say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but it was good, and it's on there. They've got this board in there where you got a group where it says those kind of drinks, and another one where it says kind of shots.
Yeah, they have
Shots of-
shot types
Shots.
there.
Yeah. So you take shots.
Oh, there's their whole menu right there.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
so
cool.
that
Have it
is
online.
it. So I was in the what group? I got my drink from what group? The cold pressed juice.
Yeah, you got them from the
group.
cold press.
And what is that called there? Because it's too small for me to read.
Their cold press process is really
It's like,
cool
where's the
too.
beet
Oh,
one?
hold
It's
on,
in
hold
here.
on. It's
We actually got to show off their cold press process
It's
on
tiny.
the show,
Tiny,
so you
tiny.
can see more of that whenever
Better?
that gets aired.
Just trying to find the beet one.
There you go. Beetroot boost.
Beetroot boost.
Okay, beetroot.
Pineapple!
Boost. No, wait.
You still-
You're hurting it.
You have to let us see it.
Yeah, right. You got to slow down.
You need to move it to the right too.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's good. Thank you. So it has pineapple, apple, orange, beetroot, lemon, ginger, and cinnamon.
Yeah.
And it's just a little bit of cinnamon, I'm guessing. But sometimes when we put cinnamon in, it will either be overwhelming
taste the
or a
cinnamon?
little.
True.
Heck yeah, you put cinnamon in anything, you will.
Yeah, that's true.
But it just added a nice hint of cinnamon, so it was just perfect. And apparently all this stuff when the cold pressed juices. So speaking of the cold press, so one of the things that Amy was walking around and she was talking about the different aspects of the business, certain things about the menu, and we were filming her and asking questions. But then when we got to actually making the stuff, that's when Jason's information kicked in, and they've got this
Yeah.
cold press juice machine.
Yeah,
That's pretty big.
it's big.
Yeah, so there's a whole idea which I didn't understand. Now I understand things like olive oil when you do first presses and cold presses on certain things.
Or cold press coffee.
Okay, so there's certain
Oh,
things
yeah.
that you do it won't, but in this case there's a whole deal with enzymes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and this is keeping the enzymes in it without destroying them.
Right. So
Oh.
you can do that with a cold press machine.
If you blend it, it kills them apparently.
All right. They do.
Oh, is that
So
so?
everyone knows they will put Cheez-Its in each drink if you want it.
That's not true.
It's not part of the regular menu, but you can bring your own Cheez-Its and they'll put them in there.
BYOC.
BYOC.
Bring your own Cheez-Its.
Bring your own Cheez-Its.
And what did I try? I tried the coffee drink. I don't see it. It's like
No, you got a bowl.
it's a smoothie bowl.
You
Go
had-
down.
I thought it was in a
Coffee cup. The coffee cup.
The smoothie
That
bowl.
is what I tried, and that was awesome.
Both you and Austin. Austin is our sound guy,
Yeah.
and
He an actor, sound guy actor.
Yeah, but he wanted the same thing you did.
Yeah. And he got the exact same thing because it just sounded good. They were boasting about it, and
And you guys liked it.
oh
All
my
of these
god, it
sound
tasted
really
like
good.
coffee ice cream.
Yeah, but you
it-
take coffee flavor with peanut butter and banana, and you're gonna be on a winning side right
Oh yeah,
there.
and they instead of having ice cream, they made the banana more like the ice cream as like the filler.
And then they have all those
it was
toppings they
great.
put in. They put in granola.
It works. It
And
works.
didn't you
I
say
usually don't.
chia seeds?
Yeah, I don't even like chia seeds, and it worked well because of the crunch and the
Really?
consistency.
'Cause,
Yeah.
Yeah.
normally you don't like chia seeds. You like
Yeah,
them
I
more?
hate chia seeds. It actually works.
So
well.
can you pull that? Oh, there's the juice shots, which you see in our area we have less of this type of thing. If you go into like the left coast up in San Francisco,
Yeah.
and areas like that, they will have more of these kind of places available. So people who are used to living in places like that, this is more natural for them to see a business like this. But in Prescott, it is the only one, and in the whole Prescott area, it is the only one. And so they decided they were going to, start this business and make this business grow. And this is just a recent thing. And
Yeah.
they went in there and they redid a building that's right the next block up on Montezuma, which Montezuma is one of the streets next to that courthouse downtown.
Yeah. Right next to
Oh,
the
so it's
courthouse.
like right in the center of downtown.
Right. So the first block is like Whiskey Row and some of that.
Right.
And the next block, diagonal over, they're one of the, and with maybe the fourth business.
They're a very vibrant
block.
purple building. You'll see them easily, honestly.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to see,
Mm-hmm.
and they got a big sign too. It's honestly an awesome spot. They probably got one of the best spots in town.
So, and they got a lot of sitting areas that you can sit in there
Yeah.
and
And
have
bar,
whatever
too.
you're having. So you look at a menu like this, and you look at the bowls in it and say everything, and say, well, when do you eat this? What is the time? Well, some people were coming in like almost lunchtime and eating these things,
Yeah.
but there's
Yes.
combinations of a lot of fruit in some of them, and then also you have, depending upon, if you would go up on the menu, please.
Yeah.
Because it's down right now, right? Okay. So if you look at some of the detox stuff they put like the very first one, apple, cucumber, celery, kale, cilantro, and parsley.
Mhm.
And it's a pretty good drink, but it's a detox. So some of these people will come in for things like that. Also, they might actually, you could go to the counter and say, hey, I'm feeling like this, or I'm really looking for
Yeah.
something like that. And they can do a recommendation for you to address whatever or what direction you're trying to go for either your health or when you're working out and things like that. So it's
Yeah.
really,
I mean, they're not doctors or anything, but they got some idea.
but they have some ideas.
Yeah.
On the way on where
And they don't claim
these
to
are appropriate. But I think my biggest question to them is, if I'm new to a lot of these different
Yeah.
things, and I'm what would I would want that I could walk into it easier? And they've got several of them.
Yeah.
They gave me the beetroot one because they just want me to. I think they just wanted to see what I thought
Yeah.
of it. But it probably wouldn't be the first one you would introduce to somebody. I would.
No,
I wouldn't-
I think they just wanted
wouldn't
to
guess
throw
that.
something at you, honestly.
Right. I'd probably go with a smoothie.
Smoothie. That's what I was.
Yeah, I would
thinking,
probably
too.
go with a certain smoothie, and you could walk into that.
Well, their smoothie bowls though are pretty big.
Well, just the regular smoothie.
Yeah, they have normal smoothies, but the smoothie bowl like I had, like the
They're pretty big.
the, coff-
I'm
the
reading
coffee
these
one.
smoothies and I'm
That
just like,
it's
ooh.
honestly a full meal. That price point that they have, it's pretty justified because I couldn't even
Absolutely.
finish mine. It was that big. It's a big cup. It's like 3 scoops of ice cream big or bigger. Honestly, it's good though.
And you had the
It was worth
coffee
it.
one?
Pretzel.
Yeah, I had the coffee one.
Ooh, sounds so good.
They're pretty good.
So it's a good place to go.
Try Orange Dreams next.
It's cool. You can try something. To me, anybody that's there once the weather warms up, and you're gonna have this any time of year, so understand that. But if the weather warms up and you go in there to get something cold or one of those smoothies, it's a perfect thing because let's face it, everybody loves ice cream, and you like milkshakes, and you like that type of
True.
stuff, and those are available too around that little couple block area. There's a few places that have different things, but when you're eating that ice cream, it's not as good for you as you would like,
No.
So
not
you
at
can get away with with having one of these smoothies that are actually, it's on the plus side of good for you instead of on the minus side, and satisfy that need at that particular time for getting something cold and getting something sweet or delicious or anything like that.
Oh, I guess this should be said too. We're not like sponsored or anything.
No.
I'm not saying this because
We're not sponsoring anybody.
yeah, no, we don't care about
You guys
that.
start pulling out
we
the
don't
t-shirt.
care. We're not boasting them just to boast them. They're actually
Yeah.
good.
You're gonna start
And that's
pulling out
the thing.
T-shirts and hats. We're not
Now buy
sponsored at
these
all, guys.
products. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, we're not that. It's actually just good. It's kind of shocking. I usually don't like those type of things too.
It's very true.
Right.
You don't.
Yeah.
All right. So, no, we're not, any of these places, we don't do that.
Like Whole Foods, I can't do that.
But we want to let you know what's there, and it's really good. And if we've experienced, it was really good. Like, when we finished up on Thursday, we went to lunch at a burger place. What was that called? Marina's?
Marina, yeah.
Marina, are you sure?
I think so.
Or was that the name of the street?
No, it was
That's
definitely
the
started
name
with an
of
M.
a street. Yeah, it's something else.
I think it's the Marina Burger. Though.
Look it up.
I don't even know how to.
It's right there in the courthouse.
Marinos.
Marino's.
Oh.
So, at the courthouse block, it's on Cortez.
Yep.
on
pretty
that first main block.
was
Yeah,
like
their
a-
food was good.
Yeah, it's like a
And
50
then-
styles place, I guess.
And what'd you get?
I got the Chicago dog, and that was killer.
Well, okay.
It was good.
Yeah, my
Doesn't
food was
look
good.
like they have a website, so I'm just gonna flash their Facebook page.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's their logo. They had some weird guy there that's all old fashioned, but the people there were also dressing all old fashioned, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's true. They were. The place is nice. The service was really good.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Really good.
quick.
Yeah, this isn't a place that we have on our show or anything.
No.
We just went there and got something to eat because
Yeah, it
it was
was really
suggested that they have good burgers. And those guys wanted to get burgers, but he ended up getting the hot dog. I think Austin got a burger.
Yeah, Austin got a burger.
A hash
You
burger.
got a hash burger.
A hash burger.
Yeah.
Which means corned beef hash
Yeah.
on top of the burger.
Yeah.
And I got a BLT with avocado.
You got,
They
yeah,
got some cool
BLTA.
names.
BLTA.
Belutta.
Yeah.
They got
Belutta.
Fat
But it was really
Tony,
good.
Yeah, it's good.
Great Gatsby. These are some good names.
Yeah. Actually, it's pretty good. It's all pretty good quality.
And for the ladies, the restrooms were clean.
Oh, yeah. They are clean.
Well, that makes a difference. It helps. You're going to a food place, you think, you know?
I've been to dirty
True.
bathrooms in a food place.
I know.
many
And
times.
it just like turns you all of a sudden like you're even feeling good about the restaurant and everything's going good. The food's been good. Then you go in the bath. I got to use the bathroom. You go in there, it's like, and then somebody threw paper towels all over the
The
floor.
first thought goes, if the bathroom.
Oh,
It's
there
a
we go.
bar, and they have Italian food, and they've got some.
So everything just disconnected and then it's reconnected.
Did we drop
now.
internet?
Yeah, we dropped internet.
I saw that right there.
Okay.
Did you just reconnect?
And we're back.
Okay, we're back. All right. I guess we just dropped internet for like 1 second because we live in the
It's
city
a
of
day full of
Flagstaff.
technical difficulties.
Well, we live at, but the problem is we're doing this show out in the boonies here.
Yeah.
Out with
Yes.
the beautiful outside and
I
everything.
know it's so hard to do it. When
I know you
it's-
guys are out.
Now we have our own satellite in the sky.
Yeah, we also control our own sun.
Right. Right. That's
That's
right.
why it's always stay.
But the problem is our satellite and our sun sometimes collide with the energy, and that energy force causes the internet to drop, and then it goes back.
Yeah,
again.
typically it's always perfect. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what can you do?
Yeah. What is that place called? Can you look it up, Tay? It's like Roses or Rosies or
I
something
have
like
no
that.
idea even what you're talking about. To be
You don't, because I haven't showed it to you.
no.
But I've been there a few times. I just want to mention it because man, they got some
Rosa's
good pizza.
Pizzeria?
Yep. They are good. So if you go to Prescott, and I'm not saying it's the cheapest place in town, okay? They've got some other places that will be, but you go in there. My favorite
quality.
thing is to sit at the bar because I like sitting up,
Oh.
and I like having a nice sized
Yeah,
counter
yes.
to eat at.
There you
So
go. There's the bar.
I've gone there a couple of times with my wife, and I'm telling you, that food was good equally both times, or maybe even
look at
3 times I
that.
went there. So he's showing a bunch of stuff. But their pizza, let me tell you, their pizza's fantastic. And
That's good.
for me, I love Peroni on tap, and they have cold Peroni in the Peroni glasses, and I like that.
What is
It's just
Peroni?
something nice.
It looks so
Peroni's,
Is that like a beer?
it's either, I'm pretty sure it's a Pilsner.
Oh, okay.
It's real clean and smooth.
Oh, okay.
It's just a good beer, especially when it's on tap.
Yeah.
Now, you always hear these things,
Oh,
I used to get the
everything's
stuff in the bottle, but I'll tell you, it tastes better on tap.
There's two beers that I know it specifically tastes better on tap. That is Blue Moon and Guinness.
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 The real Guinness.
Yeah.
Axel?
Oh, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking about? Oh yeah, we can go to the next thing. What do we do after the zoo?
Well, after the zoo, we went to college.
To the college. Yep.
So there is 3 colleges in Prescott, and there's Embry-Riddle University, which is an aeronautical university.
Yeah.
Embry-Riddle is special. It's a big campus, 460 acres or 80 acres or something like that.
It's huge.
It's big, with a lot of
Huge.
buildings,
Huge.
a lot of information out there with Embry-Riddle. It's not cheap if you send a
Hell
child
no,
there.
it's not cheap.
You don't have a scholarship of some sort or going to the Air Force with it, you're going to drop probably 60 grand to go there. So it's not an every man's college at all. But it's a very
prestigious.
it's a very nice college.
Yes.
But it didn't really fit our idea of what we'd want to video
We're
because
supposed to be for like the everyman every day.
right, I don't want it. Right, I'm going to show something that if somebody wants to go somewhere, they can actually probably do it,
Yeah.
and that's going to be limited. And I mean, it's real cool to see. It's like watching something on, going to Switzerland or something. Are you really going to go there or not? So it's cool, and isn't that great that I'm there showing it to you? It becomes more of that than actually giving you guys good information about something that you would be interested in, and I'm basically just a conduit being able to talk about that with who's ever there so then you can get the information, you can go enjoy your life. That's the point behind the things that we're doing.
Yeah.
So we have Prescott College. That's another private college that it's not cheap and it's more of an environmental, I don't know. I haven't put my finger on it yet because some people said they have an art program, which I didn't even notice on their website. They're probably true in Prescott College, but again, it's a private college. That's a little expensive. And then they have the main campus of Yavapai College. And why I say main campus of Yavapai College, and that is a community college, a 2-year college, is that they have a bunch of campuses. They have one over in Prescott Valley. It's a smaller one. I think they do nursing and other things there.
Oh yeah.
A little bit more because they have a lot of people taking that particular program.
Yeah, they definitely have a nurse to NAU program.
Right. And then
Yes.
Chino Valley has one, and it has more things with horses and agriculture and things like that. I'm pretty sure I've been up there in the building.
Yeah.
Haven't examined everything about that, but that is one we're planning on probably looking at.
Oh, do you mean
They have the
Yavapai
seats-
campus in Chino?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I know what you're talking
Yavapai
about.
College, Chino. Yavapai College. So
I
you
had a
don't have
friend-
to.
I had a friend who went to school up there.
You don't have to flash it up there. I'm just talking about it. You can just leave this as it is. We were at the C-Tech building, which is in north of Prescott, but still Prescott, which is right by Ruger, the gun manufacturer, Sturm Ruger. And that's where we went this time, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Well, then they have a campus in Sedona,
Yeah.
which is their culinary arts, and then they have a pretty good-sized campus in Clarkdale, right on the edge of Clarkdale and Cottonwood.
Yeah.
And that's where they have a lot of different programs.
Yeah, Pike Hall is pretty impressive.
It's pretty and they have
How
nice
big it is.
buildings.
Yeah.
So, and it's a great price with all these different programs. So I looked at that because we didn't have to do any college at all if we didn't want to, if it isn't intriguing enough. But they've got a program for aeronautics, and that entails learning how to fly on planes. Apparently, fixed wing.
Yes.
Fixed wing planes and other ones, but so you can go up and get your
A huge
pilot.
drone program.
Yeah, but you can get your pilot's license, first of
Yeah.
all, just talking about planes
Yeah.
at these different levels. They want people to get a license for just doing flying for yourself
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
and that, but you can work your way up the different levels of flying and get those licenses.
Oh,
They do have the drone program.
They have a program.
learn how
where
to
you
kinda
can be
build-
the guys.
Well, you
and
can
stuff.
build.
Oh yeah.
You can build drones. You
Yeah.
learn how to do that. We went into a classroom where they're doing 3D printing,
Oh yeah.
and they're building
Huge 3D printer right in the middle of it.
right, and they're building some model drones so they could fly those. So it's very, very interesting. And beyond the drones, and beyond the learning how to fly, there's a whole area where you can learn air traffic controlling.
Yeah.
So there's one side Across from the 3D printing area where there's a room, it's kind of a cage, this big room where they have all the flight simulators for flying. And down the hallway from that, there's a few classrooms. And one of those classrooms is a big air traffic controller. So when we went in there, we shot it, but it was dark. And they didn't have like the scenes, but they'll put up all these different scenes from all these different airports that they could slug into the system. And then you're sitting in there in the classroom and you're learning how to control planes flying in, planes going out, whatever the air traffic controllers do, you know?
Yeah.
Moving,
That's crazy.
I don't know, elephants that had escaped from the zoo and accidentally on the tarmac. And so they're running across and you're supposed to do something with them. But they've got a really cool program. And it's so unique. That was something that we really wanted to shoot. So we got the opportunity. The guy that's second in charge, the guy that's first in charge is out of the country, right?
Yeah.
So the guy that's second in charge, he was the guy who we work with, and his name is Spencer, just like you.
Yeah. His name's Spencer. Too.
And he's also from Chino Valley, and he was originally a student at Yavapai College taking that program.
He's
and
actually a cool guy. He
and he
does
went-
a lot of different stuff.
so it's nice that they have one of their own there. And he went to
Yeah.
ASU and then came back and became a teacher there.
Yeah. Because
And-
he has a passion for it, he even said. It's just-
Yeah, and he's big on drones and a lot of stuff. So they
yeah,
got
that's his main thing.
Yeah, so they got people who care and cool department. They're teaching something really different. And if anybody wants to look at a program like that, and it's community college prices.
Yeah.
You know, so you look at that and say, God, why would I spend the money to go to a university when I can get at least my initial Associates of Applied Science, AAS, I guess it's called, for Yavapai College in this particular degree that I'm studying. Why wouldn't I do that? And not only save money, but you can take that right there, especially if you're going to fly or air traffic control. You could take that.
It's
You
such
could
a
take that right into a job.
steal. It's such a steal for how good the program is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, community colleges are subsidized by taxpayers.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly the breakdown in Yavapai College and how it works in Yavapai County because I don't live there. But I know one thing, are subsidized by the taxpayers in Coconino County for our community college here. That means there's a tag on their property tax
Yeah.
and other areas, I'm sure, but that's the one you're most familiar with if you own a home or a business property or anything like that, is you'll see that as one of the percentages that they take out for the community college. So that helps support it. So, but there's a lot of ways these departments are supported.
Mm-hmm.
But it all comes down to, it filters down to the fact that the prices end up being really, really inexpensive to go.
Oh, yeah.
So that whole package of you could do this, you could go to something and take such an unusual thing in a program that they've been doing for a while. They're not guessing in this. This isn't something new. They built this program up, and they've been doing it for a while now. So if anybody's interested in something like that, then that sounds pretty cool, or they
That's
have some
awesome.
kids or family members that want to do that, you definitely want to check that out. Plus, they
Yeah.
have other things like if you're into automotive, whether it's body work, or
Huge
mechanical,
automotive program.
yeah, really good in that. And in the CTEC building that's there next to Sturm Ruger, Ruger again, it's on Ruger Road, which is north, kind of where, if you ever drive through Prescott and you pass the Granite Dells and you keep going north a little bit, you'll get to the point where you come to a light and you can make this diagonal right, and there's a golf course on your right-hand side. You
Yeah.
see, oh, there's the airport too.
Yeah.
Well, it's right there because it backs up to the airport.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
makes sense from what we're talking about. One thing we did learn, though, and was interesting, is that they just can't go out and take those drones and fly them out above the airport. As a matter of fact, that's dangerous as heck. Drones, they have to take to certain areas because that could cause some serious problems
Yeah, they
with
have
the planes that are
specific
flying
areas
around.
to
to fly.
Yeah.
They also have like traffic in the air, meaning they have basically their own highways in the air, so they have to go according to those highways and
Yeah.
everything like that.
Yeah, that's one thing, and he spent a little bit of time with us showing us the maps of the different areas, and that was, I guess, in the air traffic control room, and in another room too, where they have all those things mapped out.
Yeah.
Where you just can't fly anyway. As a matter of fact, they make some. If you ever notice planes and jets, they'll fly in the air and they'll go like in an odd, like if let's say you're flying from San Francisco to Phoenix, they're not just doing a straight shot there. They've got to do like maybe down to here and over to here and over to there and that. they've got certain highways, literal highways at an XYZ pattern. So an XY would be
Oh, that's
this
so
is a direction, this is a direction, and this is a direction. But
XYZ.
the Z gives you also the depth.
Yeah,
So certain
of course.
types of planes are flying at lower altitudes. Other planes are flying at much higher altitudes.
Yeah.
And they might cross each other at some point, sometime, but they're altitude different. So they have to hold all these altitudes. You have to hold the patterns of the highways that are in the sky. So they can't mess around. They're not just out there joyriding. There's nobody should be joyriding at all. So there's no right picture of, I'd love to have a plane and just fly around wherever I want. Because you really can't do that, you know? And if there is some areas that people do, or it's seemingly to
Did
do
you say
that.
doo-doo?
Yeah, I said
Doo-doo?
do. But seemingly like they are doing that is ones where they are allowed to do that, such as somebody takes off at Sedona Airport and they get a little tour of the area. So you go up in a plane, and for 25 minutes, a plane takes you around and curves and does all this stuff. Believe me, even that is a highway of some sort that they have to stay to a certain pattern. And everybody that's involved with the air traffic controlling, on the ground, wherever it is, they know it's an established route that they take. They're not just saying, oh, well, let's just take a look over here and do a
Oh, yeah.
dive
No.
over there. That's in the movies.
Yeah, no.
That's not in the real world. In the real world, they have to, or they're going to hit each other and kill each other.
Yeah, it's very organized. It's incredibly organized.
Right,
It's more than organized.
So we learned a ton, and I've only talked about a teeny bit of what we did. And so our video is going to be really great on that one. And we really enjoyed our time with Spencer. He was super.
yeah, it was great.
And we stayed. I remember. I think I can't remember the exact time that he said he had to take off, but we were way past that time. So because once he got into the groove of telling us stuff,
he just kept going.
he just kept going.
He just loved it.
and we just
Yeah.
went with him because we were
He was a little shy at first, but he just
we were rolling, and
Yeah.
he real knowledgeable guy, nice guy,
yeah.
good representation of their.
And that was the end of the
college,
day on Wednesday.
too. On Wednesday. Yeah.
Yep. And then we went to the next day, and that's when we went to the Performing Arts Center.
First the Elks Theater.
The Elks Theater and Performing Arts Center.
Right, two different things
Yeah, same building.
next to each other.
Next to each other. I mean,
But it's two different.
it's
things.
two different things.
Absolutely.
They are tied together.
Two different staff setups too.
Yes, but they do link with each other because they are also together. It's weird.
Right.
It's very odd how it's set up, but it is considered two different things.
And I think it was set up that way. It's the Elks. Elks is a group. It's a national group, charitable organization with people that join, just like they would join another club, Sertoma Club, or one of the many that are out there. And the Elks has always been known to have their own buildings. And if you're an Elk, you can go there and you go get a beer and maybe get something to eat with your
Yeah.
wife. It's a pretty great deal. And so, but what they really do at the Elks, historically, is that they work with a lot of people, whether it's people that have vision problems and sight.
Yep.
That each one of these organizations, Shriners has their thing, etc., but the Elks has theirs and what they do. But anyway, the Elks had these buildings for a while, but they were sold. This building
Yeah.
was sold
Yeah.
to the city, and the city had it for a while and fixed up the theater and decided to sell both sides of both parts of the building, all one thing, to this nonprofit who now owns it. And they finished the touches on the theater, whatever had to be done with that to complete it. So it'd be the way it is right now, the way you'll see it on our video.
It's a beautiful
And the
theater.
the Performing Arts Center next door, that's pretty much, they did the full job on that thing.
Oh yeah, it's like brand new.
Yeah. And it's amazing what they did with that. And
Yeah.
I'll talk about that a little bit of the things that they have in that. But going back to the theater, so
No, it's huge. It's awesome. It's beautiful.
So we had Jennifer,
yeah.
who was our guiding tour
Yeah.
of the
Yeah, she
of the
walked
Elks
through
Theater.
the place. She was very enthusiastic.
Yeah, she was excellent, and
Yeah, I loved her.
And the Elks Theater is set up like an old-fashioned theater, literally
Yeah.
with the seating when you walk
Oh,
in,
it's so cool.
the furniture, very authentic. All the walls, the way they're painted. It's
The
just
seats right next to the
the bar
booths.
when you walk into the lobby up on that second level. that bar. Well, it's not a second level, but it's a little bit higher, because you have to walk up an elevation to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an older bar. It's just set up that it's really cool.
Yeah.
And they emphasize things like when they have their theater performances.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, really big on what kind of bands are those? I always forget the name of it. There's a terminology. The terminology for those kind of bands.
You mean cover?
No.
Tribute.
No. Tribute bands. Thank you very much.
Oh, same thing. Aren't they?
No, a cover band is somebody
No.
who just plays the race and pop songs.
Cover
But
band like plays their music.
A
like,
tribute
covers
band
of them, but tribute, like,
specifically
dresses as
plays
them
a
and
song
stuff.
from one band.
I see.
And gets good at it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's tribute bands, and
Oh.
they do a lot of those concerts, but they do other things too. They do performances from local theater.
Yeah.
They just do a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of stuff. They do.
But
They
the
have,
theater-
they have movies out right now. Going like every. Yeah, I even have the list right there. Actually, when the movies are out, and they're older movies. They're not like current.
But you get to see
movies. It's
a
pretty
movie
cool,
in a
though.
big theater.
It's so
on a
cool.
screen.
I would love
You
it.
Drop the screens,
Yeah.
and it's just the acoustics are excellent.
Yeah.
The seating is super comfortable,
Yeah.
and they even have their balcony is what a spot to sit in their balcony to sit. It's unlike I don't know. There's a certain synthetic feel of going to Harkins and watching a movie. Comfortable, it's okay, it's fine, and everything else. But going into an old theater like that, it's just a different experience, and
It
it's
is.
a nice experience.
It is. It's such a. It's honestly seeing that old type of fashion in theater makes you just wish more theaters were like that. It's such a cool experience.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
And I remember they made a huge emphasis on just how much work they had to re-put into it just to make it look like how it used to back when it was first made. They got the exact paint colors. They redid everything just to make
Right.
it look exactly how it used to.
Right,
And yeah, it's great.
And everything is well kept. Like the bathrooms are older style with the tile, with the porcelain sinks and everything else, but everything looks like they took all the stuff that it should look like, but it's all new like it was.
Yes.
It's all new.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's cherry.
Speaking of the bathroom, they have also apparently a ghost there.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. So
Yeah.
Jennifer, I leave it up to our people, our customers, our people, whoever we're filming, to make the call on talking about things like that or not. And we just go
They
with it.
usually like to talk about that kind of stuff because it brings in people. But
Yes.
because people like ghosts. It's
So
cool.
in the third stall in the women's bathroom,
Apparently
there-
someone takes a poop there a lot, and that's not
No.
real.
now there's apparently a ghost that visits that stall and has
Yeah,
been seen
specifically that one.
by multiple people.
Yeah, there's that ghost, and apparently there's another ghost throughout the building that they call. Shoot, I'm blanking out. They call it something. I
don't
can't
know.
remember the name. They actually named that one. They didn't name the ghost in the bathroom one though. But they hear that one. They hear.
Well,
they
you'll
get
know
tugging
because
there
it's in
or
our
something
video.
like that. Yeah. Well, we talk.
It's all in our
about
video.
it. It's cool.
But we shot the third stall because we stood there for a while and she's talking about blah, 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 blah about the ghosts and all this stuff. And it's like we're standing in front of the stall. We are in the show me, don't tell me mode, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do for a living is
Yeah.
show me that's more effective. So I said, how about if we just open the stall? So we did, and Spence took his camera in and did some video in that stall.
Yeah. I already checked over the footage. There's no ghost.
There's no ghost. It might visit later, though.
We
No.
got a comment from Nate.
Yes,
He
Nate.
says, I just imagine taking a piss and having a ghost whisper to you, good flow, man.
Good flow, man. Good flow. It's only in the girls' room, though, Nate. It wouldn't happen.
Well, I don't know. It
Yeah.
depends on what time of the
That's
month it
very
is.
true.
I guess so, huh?
Oh my gosh. Ew. Good flow.
But yeah, that was really interesting. And then they mentioned this too, just because they are like a community thing, and they are what is that called? Where you're funded by the community? I'm blanking out.
What?
Their foundation.
I don't know, but they're a nonprofit.
Nonprofit. Thank you. That is the word I was looking for.
Okay.
If you ever go there, It is incredibly cheap to get tickets. It's also
It's not incredibly cheap, but it's reasonably priced.
it's reasonably priced. It's cheaper than a
Incredibly
theater.
cheap would be 15 cents.
Yes, that's true. It's
not
very
15 cents.
reasonably priced. It is cheaper than any Harkins you'll go to, and I don't know, like candy there is like $3 compared
And
to
they're
$5.
and they serve wine
Yeah.
and beer. They don't serve liquor, but they serve wine and beer.
Yeah,
besides soft drinks and things like that. And
They're all pretty good.
And their prices are pretty good.
Yeah, it's like
so you can go there, and if you're a couple, you can get a glass of wine.
Yeah.
If you're of age, and hopefully you are, and
Don't
and that's kind of nice, and sit down and watch a show,
Yeah.
and that's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
And then on the performing arts side, where we had to cross to the other side of the building, go outside, go into the building, go upstairs into the elevator, and you enter. We started at the third floor. We started at the third floor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was on the third floor? Oh yeah, all the wedding stuff.
No wait. Now you're over at the performance arts, and I haven't even finished the Elks building yet.
How are you? What else is in there besides the
that?
basement?
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about that.
I want to leave it off for the episode. I want to show that. I don't want to talk about it too much.
Okay, so anyway, well then let me close that out because
Okay.
there's the theater itself with the balcony and the seating has about 200 and some seats. I don't think there's a bad seat in the house because I went around, as Spencer knows, because he was doing the cinematography work.
Yeah.
And you shot me in this. They've got these cool side seats right by the front stage
Yeah, right
where you
next
can.
to it.
It's a balcony type where there's only 4 of you here, and then 4 of you up here, and then 4 of you here, and 4 of you up there, which is kind of cool. And if you can get those tickets, I've sat in there and checked it out. A little bit of an angle there, but nice seats to sit in. Once you get out in the regular part of the theater, there isn't a bad seat in the house.
No.
And what I liked about it is I sat in those seats, and it's like, wow, it's not like, well, how old is this theater? Well, the theater was from 1904 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And but the seats aren't. The seats are super firm, super
Yeah, they
comfortable.
just got 'em, it
also,
seems like,
and they're
yeah.
wide enough too, which is
Yeah.
a big deal too.
It's
so
pretty
so you're
nice.
comfy.
Yeah, it's super nice. It's
Yeah.
The remodel is definitely amazing.
So when you go into an environment like that, you're going to this cool theater, and I don't want to say anything negative about the Orpheum, okay? But when we have an old theater in Flagstaff, which has great concerts and
Yeah.
great venues, and it's terrific that it even exists. You know, they even have a film festival there.
Oh yeah.
So they got tons of stuff.
Yeah.
But it isn't the most comfortable place in the world. And certain times of year, I freeze my butt off. It's just like there's...
It is cold in there for some reason.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And it's nice to go in a theater, what you would think is older, but it's basically all redone in a style. And you go in there and it's like, this is nice.
Yeah.
And this is comfy.
Yeah.
And if I was taking a date here, I'd want to go to this place because the date would think, wow, this is really nice.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
It would enhance the experience.
Yeah.
Instead of detract from experience, or you have to put up with that just to get the show, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes I like the experience too. I like the whole package, you know, that go along with it. So we'll leave it at that because there's a lot of the things that we're going to show on that. But going over as you wanted to do over to
Yeah.
So the other side is the Elks Performing Arts Center. And what that means is then people will picture, oh, are they having more shows over there? That's not what this is. This is for people.
I don't want to talk about too much of the stuff because I want to leave it for the show because it's a lot of
this
talk.
is for people
Yeah.
who do things like
Yeah.
take yoga lessons, take
Yeah.
dance lessons,
Yeah.
take ballet lessons.
Yeah.
They've got rooms for that. They've got a sound studio for recording.
Yeah, you can get a band in there and you can get your band recorded.
And when you see it, it's special.
It's awesome. I can't wait for you guys to see it.
Yeah, it's special.
Yeah.
It definitely is. And we were
Yeah.
fortunate enough when we were walking around with Steven, who is the director of
Cool guy.
that side, manager, director of the Performing Arts Center. He took us up to the sound studios, and the guy who runs the sound studios up there happened to be there too, and he walked us through some of the stuff that they had and some of the rooms. So it was a really great educational experience for that.
Oh,
and we got
yeah.
to see some of the other parts of that building, and it was great.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
great.
There's a lot.
And everything is just well done.
Oh, yeah.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Some real good tech in an old building.
Can't wait to show you guys Bill.
They did it right. Yeah, Bill. That's another character that would be good. That you definitely want to see him. him. But so we got a whole experience of art and architecture and ghosts.
Yeah.
And just a great place for the community to be able to come in
Yeah, you guys got to go.
and
there.
do these and do these types of
I'm
lessons
going
and
back.
other things that
I know I am.
available.
I have to. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's definitely is. So that was our morning and part of our afternoon on Thursday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So then after we got done with that, we went to the Mountain Artists Guild.
Yeah.
And here's a calendar from the
Yeah, they
Mountain
give us a
Artists Guild.
gift.
They were so we got a couple of these or 3 of these calendars for you.
You hold that back just a little bit more so it focuses.
Oh, it's on you. The focus
There
is on
you go.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful smile.
You know, when Spencer was little, he'd smile like this. I'd say, "Smile, Spencer." He'd go,
No, I was like this.
No, you were crooked.
It was like crooked.
Yeah. One was really wide and the other side was kind of down.
I definitely didn't know how to smile.
Yeah,
as a
you
kid.
can't even do that now because you're not a kid anymore, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but that was your
I
thing.
smile
So
naturally.
every time I do that, I'm always thinking of Spencer when he was a kid because it was so funny because a lot of little kids, they don't know what their mouths look like. They're just like trying to feel their mouth and smile instead of just being natural, making a smile. It's forcing this weird looking thing. So anyway. Afterwards we went to the Mountain Artists Guild and we spent a few hours there
Yeah.
at least, and they were having
like 2 hours.
They were having a show right now. It's called Wild.
Your
It's on their website.
wildlife.
Wildlife?
Your wild.
It's a wildlife?
It's a wildlife.
It's a
It's a
wildlife.
wildlife.
And that entails a lot of paintings and other types of art that are with that theme.
Yeah, it's a one contest kind of theme, and just like if you would know things like Inktober, where they do a theme of the day, you interpret what the theme is and you paint what that theme is, or anything of that medium,
Right.
Or different types of mediums, any type of medium, as long as it's a wildlife. And so there's a lot of different types of paintings that involve the wildlife, or sculptors, or anything like that.
Yeah. It was a great experience because we got to walk the whole gallery with their president
Oh yeah.
of the guild, and this guild has been around since 1947, and hundreds it seems of artists or more belong to this guild, and they all submit things on and off, and they work together on different shows.
So talented, the artists there.
And it's an amazing guild, a true guild.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of people from the community and outside the community that are involved with this guild that show their works at
Yeah.
different times.
Yeah.
And in this case, because of this show, they would have a few, maybe 1 or 2, depending upon what was submitted and what they chose to put up on the walls, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, that
I think most of the submissions were on the walls, but I guarantee you there was not all of them.
Yeah, I don't know because I didn't want to get into too much of that.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to spend our time talking about the art that was on the walls.
Yeah.
The painting.
There was a bunch.
Median.
They said it was one of the largest shows
mediums
they had.
were all different, with
Yeah.
people doing pastels.
Yeah.
Didn't get much watercolors, but oil, acrylic.
Not in that one. I guarantee it's just because of the theme for the watercolor
and
thing.
maybe people aren't painting with watercolors at that particular moment.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was also some sculptures,
Yeah.
some hand carving,
Yeah.
just different things, jewelry, some really unusual jewelry, but not
Yeah.
your typical stuff out there, but all again trying to encapsulate that theme
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we
yeah.
have, so that we
do you
definitely have some.
guys-
Go ahead.
Do you guys think that the fact that they had to close for COVID is what caused such a large turnout this turnaround?
No.
No.
As a matter of fact, it hurt them. We discussed that very shortly. I can't even remember if you were on camera or not when we were talking about that, but they said no. Actually, the COVID has hurt them because it's hurt every business.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
this is a
Yeah.
nonprofit, okay?
Yeah.
But it's hurt every business out there
Yeah.
in different ways, and for them, it was a loss of membership.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot
the
of people
problem.
dropped out on membership, and a lot of them were coming there to up their membership over the years.
Yeah, and a lot of them are just
And they
older
couldn't even
people.
go-
They just couldn't come or whatever, and it's just because of
Well, they
COVID.
couldn't go where they were familiar with not getting on a website and upping their membership, and even knew they could do that, but they would generally, from what she was saying, they were used to physically coming to the building
Yeah.
and upping
Right.
their
Yes,
membership.
yes.
So that kind of, but now she said they're starting to come back and things.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
a
cool.
Finally
lot of confusion, but that happens with all of them. And again, this being a nonprofit, I didn't even mention in the Elks, but she mentioned they have dozens of people that are volunteers at the Elks Theater that are all these people. You'll walk
yeah.
into the Elks Theater.
They have volunteers.
They
Elks
dress
Theater has volunteers.
They dress in the age of the theater when it was first started.
Yeah.
In the early 1900s.
Yeah.
Okay, and all these people will
Yeah.
dress up. They make their own outfits. They're all volunteers.
Yeah.
And this is a thing they do, and they've been doing it for years.
Yeah,
So
and the
they're-
same people do it there too.
And to me,
except
it's-
not without.
Prescott's got a darn good community of people who care and that are all
Yeah, they
involved with it. And you don't even, I mean, you can hear about these things, but when you're in the buildings, when you're talking to the people who are
Yeah.
running it, when you're seeing it, you really realize what a difference maker is like. And in this guild, same thing. They have
Yeah.
a few employees that actually work for the nonprofit. But after that, it's a lot of volunteers of all different, some of the artists will volunteer, or people that are interested in the arts will volunteer.
People love the art community there. It really
Right.
does show.
But they're always looking for more volunteers.
Yep, and they always could use some more. And the thing is, it's really fun. It seems like so.
But we tooled
it's
around
cool.
the whole from painting to painting, jumped a bit, on certain ones from one, and then we jump over to another part of the room.
Yeah.
But just going through discussing the art, discussing the medium that they use, discussing what was the thought process behind it. We were fortunate enough to have the guy who won the grand prize there
Just show up.
with his wife. He was just showed up because he was just coming there and he was just stopping by, and we happened to be shooting.
Yeah.
And
It
so
was
he
so
came,
random.
and right, and we got a beautiful explanation about what he was thinking when he painted and how he painted it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But we went with that theme. But you'll notice in all of our videos that we're doing is that we're not just skimming the surface and mentioning a few things that exist. We're getting deep and finding out what's going on. So when you have information like we're going to give you on video, you're going to have some stuff that you're going to learn some things too. Because heck, we learned some things. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot to learn about at the Artist Guild.
Oh yeah. Well, I learned a lot about art.
Yeah,
That's all I can say.
and the president there who did our walkthrough, she was. Why am I blanking out on her name?
I am too.
Because we're both
I was
tired.
hoping.
We're
it's
tired, man.
late.
We've been
I was filming all
we've
day
been-
with this
yeah.
jacket. My shoulders are sore.
And we always have to drive
Walking all day.
over 2 hours one way to
And
do
then
it.
2
So-
hours back.
Yeah, so you always get burned out by the time you
Yeah.
get back. But and you'll get her name when you watch the video. But
Yeah, we're sorry.
she was terrific.
Yeah.
And
I love her.
I can't find her name on the website.
I love her
either.
personality. Her
Yeah.
personality is like my type of personality.
Yeah, because we did have was it Patricia?
Yeah.
Right. We did have Patricia. She was the one that I talked to on the phone, and when we set up the initial thing for the interview and
She wasn't
and
really-
do the walkthrough and everything else, and I thought she was actually going to be our person, but she was not going to do it. The president was going to do it, so we
Which
went
ended
with
up
that.
probably for the best.
Well, she's an artist. Her husband's an artist.
Because she actually had submissions in there, so she got to talk about her submissions.
Right.
And that's the
Right.
cool thing.
That's
I mean, maybe she also, Patricia did, but I'm not sure. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, that was a ball of a time, honestly.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And today,
Yeah, we've spent over 2 hours just talking about art
oh yeah.
and how
Oh, yeah.
how it was created and the thought processes behind it.
Yeah, I could have stayed longer, honestly. The paintings are just so cool. And
So that was
Oh, yeah.
Thursday.
So
Yeah, that's Thursday.
Nate is asking, when does the video drop?
whenever I have it edited, probably in 2.5 weeks. But we're still even deciding how we're formatting this, because the thing is, we just got a lot more information than we ever thought we would, and we got a lot more cooler stuff than we ever thought we would. So we might make it a little bit different than we thought, and we're planning
Like
a little bit
breaking it into
different.
3?
What?
Are you gonna make it in one continuous Prescott, Arizona, or break
We
it
might
up?
just make it like a 45-minute episode. Yeah. We
Okay.
might make it like a Game of Thrones size episode. Who knows? And we don't know at this point in time. But
keep you
we are
posted.
going to have it released soon. That is
We're
all
also
I can
not
say.
done shooting either.
We are not done shooting. We still have a park and rec guy that we're going to get
Yeah,
up there at Thumb Butte.
The director of
yeah.
Park and Rec, Joe.
Wait, are we going to Thumb Butte? I can't remember.
No,
Oh, okay. Where are we going? for that?
From Butte's to the Distillery. No, we're going to Watson Lake.
Oh, Watson Lake. Yeah, we're going to
meeting
see a
up
Parks
there.
and Rec guy at Watson Lake, and he's going to tell us about the Parks and Rec of the area and stuff like that. So we got to get that, and then
Nice.
we can fully edit everything.
Right. We can start the editing on Monday and Tuesday, but it's
Yeah.
So
We're going to
Nate-
start now.
To Nate's
but-
question, we're telling our people that we shot. It's about 3 to 3.5 weeks once we get started on that. I really think it's going to be a heck of a lot less.
Oh
than
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. And but
But I don't like the. I rather under promise and over.
Oh yes, absolutely.
the opposite.
Yeah, I can't say you an exact time, but it will be done shortly, and we have Tay's helping. Where I'm also going to bust on editing, and we have a lot of easier methods to edit nowadays.
Yeah, it's also a little different editing. We're not editing. We have broads. I mean, you colorize one long piece, one segment of where we're in a certain room and discussing.
Yeah.
You can pretty much just colorize that.
And also time code will just save me half the time.
We're not planning on putting this on
Talked
big
about that
theater
last
screens.
episode.
This is going on YouTube and stuff. So it doesn't have the same demand of look. We want it to look good, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have that same demand. It's a broadcast deal. So for us to do it, we don't have to put as much into the editing, but still we're going to do good editing. We got to cut in music. Everything's got to be right.
Yeah.
It's got to be tight too.
We gotta even
And
put
it's
some more music.
And we got to make it fast enough and moving enough that there's going to be an interest. So
Yeah, we can't make it sluggish.
and that's where the
or
edit
anything.
that's where the editing comes in.
Right.
Is that you've got to keep people's interest, and the only way to keep people's interest is to make it snappy, get things going. But here's the thing, when as Spencer was starting to mention, is that we were going to do basically the typical 22 to 23 minute show and tie it all up. But what has happened through our interviews, and partially because of my interview style that I do, is that once somebody has an idea and they're talking about something, I think of 2 or 3 other things. And then we're going deep, and then we're talking about this, and then we're talking about that.
We go
about it.
deeper than
And
probably
it's-
most shows,
right?
honestly.
So compare watching Jimmy Kimmel to watching Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a
and
great
going
example.
deep. Okay. Ours is we are on the Joe Rogan side of wanting to explain things more.
Yeah.
So when you walk away from us, it's not just an entertainment thing, but you're learning something that you actually are glad you learned about it because it's interesting and
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
can use it. So that changes the game, but it also changes the game of time. So Spencer's mentioning that it's going to probably be longer. It might be a 2-part episode. Also.
Yeah, it most likely, and this is what's in my head right now. This could vary and change, of course. I'm thinking I'm just going to make it segmented, which
Yeah.
means one long
I agree.
episode, but having separate little segments as
Like
separate
chapters.
videos. Yes.
Well, we're going to have those anyway because we're going to submit.
yeah,
each
we're
one
going to
of
do
the-
that style anyway, so
each-
it might just work.
Yeah,
for us.
right. Because
Exactly.
each segment for each one, those segments are going to be then dropped to whoever it is. Let's say the guild.
Yeah.
and they're going to have their segment. And
Yeah, so that way they can put it
that's-
on their website.
Yeah, that's going to go on
Yeah,
their
yeah.
website. So each person it's got to be segmented anyway.
Yeah, so that way they can use it.
Absolutely.
But how long we want to make the episode, and what that's going to all be determined in our editing. Because what we don't want to lose is the essence of what they're trying to say, what they're trying to talk about. So you, as the watcher,
And at the
viewer,
same time, we don't want to
you're
lose
gonna learn
watchability too.
Right.
So we don't want to make it
So it's a balance.
slug to
yeah,
watch.
So, but there's so much good stuff,
yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
and you can't today.
we film so much at just the zoo. It's
Right.
it's ridiculous. I don't even know that would be one episode.
Well,
That's
Right.
the thing.
Either way, Nate says hopefully it's a better ending than Game of Thrones.
Well, I don't. Yes, it would be because it will just be next time in your neck of the woods.
Well, what's the ending of Game of Thrones?
Man, can I
Just say one thing.
spoiler alert? Anybody?
What happens?
What happens is the
Don't
main.
get too
How about
detailed.
this?
Just
Hold on.
what happens
It
at the
ends
end.
in a way
Last 5
that didn't
seconds. What happens?
It ends in a way that didn't satisfy like 65% of the viewers.
Oh, did the little guy die?
No,
What? No.
Well, I'd want him dead.
no.
He lives.
It ends like
That's
this.
no good.
Girl that has dragons kills everyone, so she has to die. And main character of the show, basically named John, even though he did everything, basically gets kicked to the boot. And the character that shouldn't have became king because he's a literal cripple and he didn't do anything significant really for the plot except be a target, became the king. And that's the end of the show.
But isn't that the way it always works?
Yes.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
The truth is, it's like Mao Zedong. Everybody thought Mao Zedong must have been this leader and this big military guy. And
Oh, it's more realistic. I don't disagree with the
He was a
ending.
guy
I
that
think
just
it's
hid under
hit or
blankets
miss.
and in the background while everybody else took hits as he slowly crawled his way
Oh
up
my
through the
gosh.
ranks. And he was the last man standing. And he became the leader of the Communist Party.
Yeah,
That
that
is
movie
how
that
you
we
play a
saw
battle
is
royale.
great example of that. What was that movie that we saw? The communist
don't know.
comedy that we saw. You remember that we saw?
I'm not sure which one.
It had Steve Buscemi in it, and he was like one of the main characters, and it was about Stalin's death.
Oh, yeah, it's about
And-
Stalin's death.
Yeah, that was the death of Stalin. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
Death of
it.
Stalin.
The death of Stalin.
Yeah.
that movie's great.
is
If
Death
you
of
ever get a
Stalin.
chance, watch it. But
That's what always happens.
Yeah, it is.
Some weak weasel gets the slot.
Yeah.
And you know why the weak weasel gets the slot? Because you can control him.
Oh yeah.
Mao Zedong, everybody thinks always
They
he's
probably
Chinese
didn't think about that
leader.
at the end of
No,
Game of Thrones.
seriously, I mean,
Yeah.
he's a perfect example. Mao Zedong, because the very few people know that he was educated at Oxford.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys are just plants. Anyway, so
Yeah.
you always get an idiot. So
Yeah.
that's a perfect.
But he's not an idiot.
So
He
that's-
actually knows the
so
future.
So
but
that's a
he's
perfect
just a-
ending. That's a perfect
yeah.
ending.
Yeah, it is a perfect end. Honestly, there is a lot of good things about the Game of Thrones ending. I just think, in reality, and why people complain about it is that it was too short, probably, and for most people's opinion. Even though it's longer than longer than Lord of the Rings, the trilogy movie. I think it's actually kind of absurd that people wanted it longer. But I can understand why people have complaints. But at the same time, it was fine.
Yeah,
I feel like people are just nitpicking.
I watched
How much
Game
can
of
you
Thrones.
get good?
It's just boring to me.
Really? It's a lot like Lord of the Rings, actually.
I tell everyone they have to get
Right.
through the first season.
Maybe
The
do you
first
not like Lord of the Rings?
season-
thought
I
you
like the
liked Lord of
books.
Rings. You like the books, but then you might like the Game of Thrones books.
Well,
The
yeah.
movies are good. They're really long.
Well, it's not called Game of Thrones. They're called The Song of Ice and Fire, the books.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super good, actually, in my opinion.
I tell everyone they have to get through season 1. It's a little bit of a drag because of all the exposition, but once you get through
Honestly,
it,
season 1, it's just the first 2 episodes. Everything else is great.
it starts really.
It's 'cause it's
slow,
an
but
HBO show.
snowballs.
But I would,
Anyway.
yeah, whatever. Let's to the
on
next
topic.
thing. We're going to talk about.
Yeah, I want to move away from Game of. It's so boring.
No, it's not.
I could
I'm
fall asleep
passionate.
listening to you guys talk about the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I have watched it. It is nothing more than a glorified soap opera to me. All it is a whole bunch of people standing around and arguing about dumb shit and talking. There's nothing really going on, but they are talking about what they do and other things.
What?
I
disagree.
That's all I've ever seen.
Well, you haven't seen much then.
That's right.
There's a lot of action in that
don't
show.
know.
There's a lot of action.
Right. It would be like the same person who said, I've never watched soccer before. You got to watch European football.
It's like saying Star Wars is all about.
Can I finish my
guys
sentence?
who only
Can I
do
finish my
magic.
sentence?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so they watch soccer, and so the person goes out and they say, okay, I'll watch it. Okay, I just watched, but it wasn't available. So I watched some Brazilian soccer. So it ends up being 0-0, and that was boring. Except I watched a bunch of guys fall down that really weren't hurt and fake injuries.
Yeah.
Then I watched another one.
Yeah.
Same crap. Then I watched another one.
Yeah.
Same crap. Then I watched another one. I'm not watching anymore. And they'll say, well, it's not really like that if you watch this and that. It probably isn't. But you know what? I've only got so much time. And if I took my life and wasted it continually on something, that is a waste of time when I know flat out that I could do something that's better than that and watch something better than that. Why wouldn't I do that? So that's the way I feel about it. It's not that there's problem. All these people watch it, so it's probably great, okay?
I just don't even know how you could be even comparing it to something that's a soap opera because
Because that's what it reminds me of when I watched it, the way they talk to each other and everything.
it's just old English.
It's
So
not. No,
apparently,
it's not the old English part. They can speak in any language they want. It's just the dialogue and the motionlessness of it. They're standing there and talking about how this person did this and this person did that. They're not showing anything. They're just saying, and he was like this, da 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 da, back and
They
forth.
show so much. Oh, whatever. It's
In
my
soap
opinion.
opera, you have to do that. Why?
So,
Or they'd have to
close
build
this
these big
topic.
sets, right?
Just to
So-
close this topic, I think this is funny because Neat decided to comment that he's never seen an episode.
He's never seen an episode.
Never
Yeah, well,
seen
yeah,
an episode.
You have
Well, now you know the
saved
ending.
yourself a heck of a lot of wasted time. Much better to watch a South Park episode for the 4th time
Oh
than
my
to
gosh.
watch that, because at least South Park has something to say.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I like
But
it.
think
I don't know. I
it's-
find
episode.
South Park more hit or miss to me than Game of Thrones. South Park sometimes is just absolutely.
That's because you're into the story.
No, I'm not. It's because I love the fucking brutalness.
Oh, see, I
it's
don't like
just
that.
I do.
I don't care.
They
about that.
chop off people's heads consistently.
See, I don't care. I just think that's just like,
Slaughter.
Slaughter.
yeah, I think
Children.
that they throw that out there just to be provocative. Can't you not be provocative and still be creative?
Yeah, there's a lot of creativeness.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it creative.
Well,
I
I'm
also
sure
read
the dragon is creative and all that stuff.
Yeah, I
the
read
dragon
that.
thing.
So I have a different.
See, you're right. You're into it.
Yeah.
You're into the whole thing.
Yeah. It's like, well, I guess it's the same thing as you trying to describe Star Trek to someone.
No, it's the same thing as me watching a Clemson football game as they're beating the dog out of somebody and it's 52-7.
Yeah.
And there's 8 minutes left and you'd say, hey, you're still going to watch that game? It's 52-7.
Yeah, I guess
And
that's a
I
better
say,
example. Yeah.
I say, I'm watching this thing to the end. I want to see
Yeah,
this player and this third
'cause of
stringer
passion.
come in
Yeah.
and all the other details that are behind it. It's not just about the game. It's about
Yeah.
other things. And
Yeah.
that's what you're seeing. And I'm not seeing that with Game of Thrones because I don't care about
Yeah. You look at Game of Thrones how I look at Walking Dead. I can't even watch that show.
No, I didn't.
I don't even want to.
But then again, it's a lot of drama. Where I'll spend my time watching a lot of comedy. I'll watch comedy before I watch anything,
I like action, but
Or just
I
real
don't like
stuff.
drama as much.
or
I
just
mean,
real stuff.
I like stuff that remind me of like Harry Potter-y kind of stuff, but not necessarily
Magical.
drama.
Well, Harry Potter's different.
Yeah. But so today, let's
So
talk
today,
about-
okay. So today we went to downtown.
Yeah.
And we did shots of B-roll. If nobody's familiar with B-roll, you're not familiar with B-roll. B-roll is that secondary stuff. So if you're on the
Side
screen and watching two people talk to each other, and then one person is describing and talking about things, all of a sudden the person's not on the screen anymore, but you still hear their voice because they're still talking, but they're showing things of, in this case, the city of Prescott.
Yeah.
town, buildings, retail stores, things like that. So we did shots of B-roll, and another thing we did was we did our intro in front of the courthouse, which was kind of quick and easy.
Yeah, we already did the
Nice.
intro once. We decided to redo it though
Yeah.
because of the substance we got. So we had to.
So we needed to
I like
do
the
that.
courthouse. It's pretty.
It's beautiful.
So we still have to do our outro, and we still have to, on Wednesday, we still shoot again.
Yeah.
So those are the things that are left in our line. But today, we spent a bunch of time, starting early this afternoon. We went to Butte Distillery.
Yeah.
And that's what these bottles are for those who question the bottles.
Yeah.
This is from Butte
These
Distillery.
are actually gifts they gave us at the very end.
Right. So this is another, like the Mountain Artists Guild, another unique place. Prescott has a distillery, and not just any distillery. This distillery has won 26 different awards.
Every
Wow.
year.
Yeah, right. For this is international for the quality of their product.
Oh yeah, they were against
they-
everything. And the big dogs.
And you will learn.
small
We're not going to
people,
get into
anything.
it too much, but you will learn that this place is special, and their product is outstanding.
Oh my gosh,
And-
I usually
And I'm
can't
not a liquor
handle-
drinker.
I am not a liquor drinker too. In fact,
Yeah, both
I
of you.
hate liquor. It burns my throat, and I was able to drink it like it's tea. It's interesting.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
So
I
did
have
it
never had
taste
something
good?
so smooth. It's not just good.
So
it's
they have
great.
some excellent product.
It's-
For the rundown, they're basically into making certain vodkas,
Yeah.
certain gins,
Yeah.
and certain whiskeys,
Yeah.
whether it's single malt or
Yeah.
rye whiskey, but the quality of every piece, there's a story behind each one of how they're really good, and that's what we brought. So we got some bottles here. This is a rodeo rye that they have, which is
Yeah.
just a pretty bottle all itself. Their vodkas. This is their
That's the same one, 'cause we
infused
loved it.
Meyer lemon vodka.
I love lemon.
And
Can you
I'll
pick
just
up the bottle and pull it just a little closer to you so I can focus it?
like that.
Show it on my screen.
Ah, yes. Beautiful. Look at that bottle.
Yeah, so we have this bottle, and we have this rye whiskey bottle.
Ooh.
Okay, very nice. But they've got great labeling and stuff, but it's the product itself. So the difference is watch the video, and you'll be able to see their processes and everything, and it's pretty amazing stuff.
Oh, they actually hand put the bottle numbers and the batch number too.
Yeah,
That's cool. I didn't realize that.
yeah. So this one is infused with Meyer lemons. And for those who aren't familiar with it, a Meyer lemon is kind of a combination of this smaller sour lemon
Yeah.
and a mandarin orange, and they
Yeah.
grow them. You can actually get them in Phoenix area and at stores.
Yeah,
and things.
I never heard of them.
But either have I. But the Meyer lemons is what they use, but it has a certain potency
Yeah.
plus flavor that they add to the vodka, and they do an infusing process. And unlike an infusing process where a general infusion is, let's say you got a batch of liquid and you take something like a stick of whatever and you stick it in there and you let it break down for a while and then you filter out. This is different where they're literally taking the Meyer lemons and they're putting them in a kind of basket, if you could picture.
Yeah.
And they're running the vodka and they're steaming the vodka up through there and distilling it through the Meyer lemons to give it a flavor. But what we noticed, and again, we both aren't liquor drinkers, so I didn't know what I was getting into when they gave me a little bit on the bottom of a shot glass to taste. But your first sip that I got was smooth, okay? And a little bit of burn, which you'd expect from initially alcohol, especially because I was talking for a while and we were filming for a while.
Yeah.
And I hadn't had any water, so that didn't help.
Yeah.
But they always say you do that initially, and then it's your second sip. That's the storyteller. It is smooth.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, holy crow! Is this? Yes, this is an 80. What is 80 proof? Because there's a certain proofs that you have to have.
Yeah, it's
on
definitely
certain
higher
product.
than most. But,
Maybe it's more. Maybe
Well,
the proof
generally
is more.
vodka is like 40%.
This is 40% alcohol, 80 proof.
Yeah, 80 proof is just the proof is double
Yeah.
the
Oh,
alcohol
that's right.
percentage.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
But it doesn't matter what generally is because we learned a lot about all those rules too.
we showed all of that.
There's so much information on how they distill and why a product is good and why a product isn't good. It will shock you.
It will shock you.
The way the way
with
certain
normal product.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't want to buy anything.
Yeah, well, we don't write. Once you start to find out some of the stuff that, well, we're not going to get into the detail. 'Cause I don't want to
we'll
save
keep
it.
that for the episode.
Right.
But there is some just deathly things that might be in certain products that you drink and you don't even know, and they
Right.
won't show it and they won't tell you.
But they don't have to. Okay,
They don't have to.
There's only certain
don't.
FDA requirements that you have to do on things, and we didn't get really into it that much. We were more into,
No, but we're still shocked.
yeah, we were more into the process.
Yeah,
the
it was so
things,
cool.
The different products that they had and how they process things and how they filter.
It seems
things.
like it takes a while.
But also how they came up with things and what took them from a certain point to another point on different products. And so the guy, Jim, who runs the place along with his wife, Dana, they were both artists. And he still is an artist.
Yeah, he's still an artist.
40 years in as an artist, but crafting to him, this isn't any different than creating pieces of art. So it's just a different medium for them. So, and they approach it that way. And so they have their experimentation and willing to experiment is very, very high. And that's something that you can do at a craft type distillery that you can't do other places. Now, don't get me wrong. This place is a craft distillery, but they still have tons of equipment. They're putting out a serious amount of product. They have a master distributor that they work with to sell to retail stores in Arizona. But so they are doing some volume, so they're not playing around. They're making product, but each bottle, each product that they have that come out, it's at a different level. They're not just cranking out things, and how they make their cuts and how they move away from the early part of the batch and the late part of the batch and get only the really good stuff in the middle. The cost structure of things like that when you work like that, it's much different than other people who will use the whole thing, even though it might not be as good of a product when they get done. Because it's got some ingredients in you really shouldn't have in the product to really have a quality product. But then it's bottom line. They're worried about the bottom line. Of course, every business is concerned they have to stay in business the bottom line, but it's all about making the product. So you say, well, it's got to be extremely expensive. I don't think so, because this particular bottle of vodka is, they say $23 at retail?
Yeah.
I don't know how much that whiskey is.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, because they gave us that bottle so Austin could have this bottle of whiskey, but we're actually keeping this here.
Yes.
We're keeping that here, but it's still, their prices are retail reasonable. you
Yeah.
know?
Well,
They're
they
pretty
are in the
good.
Costco there.
Well, they're in Costco, but they've only got like 3 products.
Yeah, they only got so much shelf space. We actually go over that in the show though.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But still, so they're out there.
But you can buy them online
and they can,
if you really want.
They can do some volume. But what's really cool about the place is you can go in, try all these different ones. While we were sitting there, people were doing tastings where there was a huge tray
Yeah.
of just small shots of all these different ones. So people were trying
There's a
different,
tour
different
group
vodkas,
there.
different gins. Yeah, they do tours.
Yeah.
So at 2:00, 3:00, and 4:00.
Oh, so it's $20 for a tour and tasting.
Okay.
I see.
So they do a tour and tasting, and Jim does the tours, and he's knowledgeable, and he's a lot of fun to watch him go and go through all the products. It's just somebody who knows what he knows.
Yeah, they have a lot
and
of
has the experience
specialty
and the
ones,
passion
too.
they have behind their
Oh, yeah.
their work, and the employees there really love being there.
The more higher marked ones is because they do only have some special products and they're very limited, and some people just keep on the shelf. Like that Robert's Rye is actually a famous actor, and they're best friends with one of the guys we
Now,
take over in the show.
Yeah, so they
And
have
so they have
There's some that are a little
other
pricier, but these are specialty runs and specialty products that they only made so many, and it's got other infusions and other things in there. So it's nice. You can go there and you can try out the different things. You can sit at the bar or some tables, and they've got some terrific mixologists who can come up with different drinks. You also got to taste what was that called? The fire in the pants, or
Oh no, I can't remember. That's the one that got me a little buzzed.
yeah, fire in the something or some kind of fire where they light up.
They say it.
Yeah. It may be in there with their mixins or.
I am bad
They
with-
do have. So they have
Pants on fire.
Pants on
Aha!
fire. There it is. Fire in the
Great.
pants.
Fire in your pants.
Fire in their pants.
At
Hey,
night.
hey, you got some fire in their pants. No, it's
Pants on fire. It was
Pants-
really cool how they made it.
Right. So that was a cool drink.
smoking.
And what was
Oh.
amazing, I tasted that drink too, and it was like and Spencer was best described it. It was almost like we were drinking an herb tea.
Yeah.
Which says herb tea. Didn't they put much liquor in it? No, they didn't hold back on the liquor. It's just the fact that mixologist and the drink he created, and that's a lot of times the thing, is you smooth it out to the point where it's not over sweet or over anything. It's just delicious. And
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was-
And obviously, it doesn't taste like exactly like tea, but at the same time, it's like it's so smooth. That's weird.
Right.
I've never had anything that smooth.
It's really,
I mean,
really good.
Basically straight.
So you can go there and you can get these shots and do the tour. They have 3 plates up there. They don't go into the food very much. It's like you get these fancy cheese plates, which are really nice, or the ones with more meat, with meat on the cheese plates, or even a salmon plate. And that's really what they have. And that's just enough to go with the drinks, because the idea is you're going there and you're having your palate, you're eating some food with it, so you have something there, but you're leaving your palate open so you can try these different vodkas, gins, and
Yeah.
whiskeys.
Yeah, and they
And
have.
we were
there's some
schooled. We
good
were
stuff
schooled
there,
on
yeah.
the whiskeys, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we were.
And they've got some other things like many of these places do, whether it's like the like Vibes, the
Yeah.
juice bar, or other places. They will hang local artists' works, and they were hanging some there. There's
Yeah.
a guy named
that's
Russ
cool.
Wilson, and you'll see some of his work there. But he does these great cartoons with each one is a little story behind on the cartoon, just like any cartoonist will do, and great drawings.
Oh yeah.
Real sarcastic sense of humor. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. So it's really an experience to go in this place. And also with the COVID recently in these last bunches of months when all this was going on, they weren't able to do everything that they always could do before with people coming in, but they're getting slowly back to those things. And one of them is having music at night on the weekends, and they have bands in there. They have a whole setup, and you'll see that on there where all the equipment is there,
Yeah,
and people can plug in. So sometimes they said they'll have an 11-piece band with some horns and things, and other times it'll just be a folk singer. But people can come in there and have a drink and get a bite to eat and just relax and listen to some music. So it's nice to have something. But still, the bottom line is on this, Prescott has an excellent, not just sort of, it's like having most fantastic winery, like something from Oregon in the Willamette Valley that does Pinot Noirs. They've got that in a distillery right in downtown Prescott.
Yeah.
Right in downtown
So you guys
Prescott.
should
It's special.
honestly just check it out.
It's special. And we felt it was unique enough that it deserved to be on the show and go again with our theme of trying to find businesses, other locations and things that really, really
Just
would
stand
intrigue
out.
people, that'll stand out, that are different.
But you can still go to and everything.
Right.
like that.
So we can give you video that you'll really want to watch.
Yeah.
And be guaranteed that you're not going to be bored to death, so you'll definitely want to tune in. So we're excited about finishing up on Wednesday next week,
Yep.
and getting this editing going on Monday this coming week.
Yeah.
And we'll start that and then start blocking it all out
Right.
and everything, so we can get it up and running as soon as possible, and of course get them their videos too.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty much, I think, what we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, and I'm exhausted, and
Yep.
so I think we're gonna wrap it up. I'm not gonna do the Screen Rant stuff today. I am
Okay.
just too tired. It's
Right,
9
no.
o'clock.
This was enough. I think we were online enough here. So I want to thank everybody that watched this or that will watch this on replay.
Yep.
On YouTube and what else?
Yeah, on
Twitch,
Twitch
Facebook.
and Facebook.
You can also go to our website and you'll be able to access it there too.
Yes, absolutely.
And we are not the last, all the other podcasts that we had, we segmented and got it done. We segmented and got it done. Did you shut us off?
No.
No, not yet. No. I'm just
Okay.
putting music.
We segmented and got it done right that day so we could get it up that night. So it would be on. Are we doing that today or are you just going home?
No, I'm not doing that today. I'm actually going to keep this as one long segment because we kept on talking about the same stuff.
Oh, okay. So, but this is going to go up on Monday. Am
Yeah.
I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to have this up
Her battery died.
up online on Monday.
Whoop whoop.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, that's solved because we got boxes in there, and that's the only thing we want to see. We got some new equipment for our pod set that we were waiting for
Fine.
all week. Got held up by some snowstorms in the east where the stuff came from,
Yep.
New York City,
Yep,
where we
yep.
ordered from, and so some stuff is coming in that will help us even make our podcast a little bit better technically, which will be great. Because we needed this stuff. It was just, again, we were held up because of weather, amazingly enough.
Yep.
So we'll finally get that stuff in. But we thank you for watching this Big Raven podcast. We also are excited about everybody tuning in to Your Neck of the Woods, our new show with our true real episode coming up as soon as we can.
Yep.
And as soon as that's edited out. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time, and thank you for not ending us mid-sentence, Tay, like The Sopranos.
Thank you guys for watching.
Delicate illusion. Wanting to the noise machine. So mean. Walk, meet, chirpy bird. Riff, romp, much preferred. Whoa. Stage, heat, passerby. Caustic, she don't know why. Whoa. Rubbing me the wrong way. Choking up my angry dream. Dying for attention. Wanting to type the noise machine. So mean. Bait, switch, you're the worm. You must wait your turn. Whoa. Love, dog on the lamb. Passion in a can.